A notification on her phone says, "You have 10 seconds to hide." She thinks it's a joke, but then it was a typical Tuesday evening for Emily. She had just finished dinner and was settling in for a night of binge-watching her favorite TV show. Her phone was propped up on the couch cushion next to her, and she was scrolling through social media when suddenly a notification popped up on her screen. "You have 10 seconds to hide." Emily chuckled to herself, thinking it was just a silly joke from one of her friends. She had a group chat with her friends from college, and they often sent each other ridiculous messages to try and scare each other. She was about to respond with a laughing emoji when she noticed the lights in her living room begin to flicker. At first, she thought it was just the usual glitch with her old apartment's electrical system, but then the lights went out completely. Emily's heart skipped a beat as she was plunged into darkness. She fumbled for her phone to use the flashlight app, but before she could even find it, she heard the sound of footsteps echoing down the hallway outside her apartment. Her heart racing, Emily's mind went from thinking it was a joke to thinking it was something much more sinister. She quickly threw off the blanket and got up from the couch, her eyes scanning the dark room for any sign of movement. The footsteps were getting closer, and she could hear the creaking of the floorboards beneath whoever, or whatever, was making them. With a surge of adrenaline, Emily sprang into action. She grabbed a nearby vase and held it up like a makeshift weapon, her eyes fixed on the door. She was ready to defend herself, but a part of her was still hoping it was just a prank gone wrong. The footsteps stopped right outside her door, and Emily held her breath. She could feel her heart pounding in her chest, and her palms were slick with sweat. Suddenly, the doorknob began to turn, and Emily's grip on the vase tightened. But just as the door creaked open, the lights flickered back to life, and Emily saw a figure standing in the doorway. It was her neighbor, Mr. Jenkins, who lived in the apartment next door. He looked just as startled as Emily, and he was holding a flashlight in his hand. "I'm so sorry, Emily," he said, out of breath. "I saw the notification on my phone too, and I thought it was some kind of emergency. I came to check on you." Emily let out a sigh of relief as she realized it was just a miscommunication. She put down the vase and laughed, feeling a bit silly for overreacting. But as she looked at her phone again, she saw that the notification was still there, staring back at her, and this time it said, "You have 9 seconds to hide." Emily's heart skipped a beat as she realized that maybe, just maybe, it wasn't a joke after all.